Starting a series feels like getting into a long-term relationship. You can't just pick up book one and casually walk away. No, you have to commit. There's emotional investment, heartbreak, anticipation, and if it's a long series, that's years of your life right there. But when you're a reader who juggles work, life, hobbies, and that thing called sleep, who even has the time? So today, we're doing a shelf confession. I'm showing you the series I haven't finished, or even started, but still can't let go of. Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I actually bought these from Pandayan Bookshop. Yes, they were on sale, and yes, I have zero regrets. I love how eerie and mysterious it looks. Those vintage photos, the creepy atmosphere, the idea of peculiar kids living in a loop of time. It's weird, it's magical, and it's right up my alley. I started the first one and really liked the tone, but then life happened. Pero napapanood ko ang film adaptation and kinda like it. Maybe because nasa Cassie Ava Green, who is one of my favorite actresses. Maybe I should restart it from the top, this time with a blanket, coffee, and zero distractions. Next is The Immortal Instruments by Cassandra Clare. Gifted to me by a good friend. A huge shout out to Ma'am Violi. I don't really have much friends kung meron man yung nabubudol ko lang. On a serious note, thank you for indulging my whims. I actually read City of Bones years ago and loved it. It was such a wild, dramatic fantasy. But then came the sequels, the prequels, the spin-offs, and I got overwhelmed. Still, every time I see these books, I'm reminded of why I fell in love with YA fantasy in the first place. The adventure, the magic, the chaos, it's all here. Of course, The Hunger Games. This was one of those years that shaped an entire generation of readers. Katniss, Peeta, Gale, the rebellion, the survival, the heartbreak, everything was so intense. I read the first two books and loved them, but I paused before Mockingjay. Every time I see it on my shelf, I feel the same fire. That reminder that stories can be political. Fingers crossed, I'd pick up the third book maybe early next year. Now this one, 50 Shades of Grey. I bought this out of pure curiosity. I read part of it and just thought, wow, this is something. Not gonna lie, it's not the best written book out there. I think it's a badly concocted hell of a series. But I keep it on my shelf as a reminder that we all go through different reading phases. Sometimes you read for art, sometimes for curiosity, sometimes for chaos. Haha. Ah yes, Twilight, the book series that started it all for so many readers. I was obsessed with the love triangle, the supernatural world, the whole mood of it. Sino bang hindi naging parte ng Team Edward or Team Jacob fandom? Naalala ko college ako nang unang lumabas ang film adaptation and I wasn't interested when it first came out. Pero dahil basically talks about it are everywhere. Sa school, sa mall, sa dorm. So ayun, pinanood ko na rin. I finished reading Twilight but never got around to New Moon. Still, the series has a special place in my heart because no matter how much we tease it now, it made millions fall in love with reading. And honestly, that's something beautiful. And last but not least, Divergent. I remember devouring the first book so fast. The factions, the idea of bravery versus conformity. It was so addictive. I started Insurgent but kind of lost steam before finishing Allegiant. Sorry, maybe I just got tired of the whole series thing. At medyo nagbabago na ang reading taste ko during that time so nag-ghost ko siya honestly. Still, it reminds me of that golden age of dystopian YA. When rebellion was in every story and every book taught us something about identity and courage. But I promised myself ilalagay ko to sa TBR 2026 ko. Wish me luck. So here's what I learned after staring at all these half-read series. Buying books is easy, but reading them, that's the real commitment. When you buy a series, you're not just buying multiple books. You're buying time. You're saying, I'm ready to follow this story wherever it goes. And that's not a small thing. But if you're like me, constantly tempted but short on hours, here's my honest advice. Buy the first book first, test the waters. If you like it, reward yourself with the next one. And if not, it's okay. You save both time and shelf space. Because let's be real, unread series are part of every reader's journey. They're like bookmarks in time, reminders of what once inspired us to dream, to believe in stories. So don't feel guilty about them. They're part of your story too. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'm Ivana Del Fiero and this is Petals and Pages by Angelo. Keep reading, keep exploring. And remember, even if your series are unfinished, your love for stories doesn't have to be. See you next time, reading friends.